and welcome to 3.0 TV. I am Ruchi Sharma. In today's special bulletin, we will be covering the entire gamut surrounding the CBDCs. The world leaders convening at Davos have expressed their optimism about the future of central bank digital currencies or CBDCs and digital currencies. Many have voiced their belief that CBDCs can be a useful tool in supporting fragile financial markets. More than 100 countries are exploring CBDC as a tool to implement the innovation in a way that will have the best macroeconomic and societal impact. Global leaders as well as central bank governors have identified the importance of CBDC during the period of macroeconomic fragility and, more importantly, heightened pressure on central bank to improve economic conditions. Nevertheless, their steadfast commitment to CBDC exploration remains in place because of the potential benefits during this turbulent period. Raghuram Rajan, the ex-governor of Reserve Bank of India, has his take on the CBDC and the future of digital currency. He spoke out his mind on pros and cons of digital currency.
And I think the Fed is not at this point contemplating substituting them with a central bank digital currency. Some of the pressure for a US dollar CBDC comes from other central banks putting in place, a digital renminbi. It's not about displacing fiat currencies, but it's about offering a much easier way of payment, much easier way of digital transactions, in a sense, a base for doing a lot more. And I think if we focus on what these digital currencies, whichever stable, crypto, whatever you take it, what additional activities they can promote.
Brimming with opportunity from the blockchain technology-led digital assets, Shyam Nagarajan of IBM expressed his views on the CBDCs, stablecoin, and host of Web3 technology.
About 90 different central banks around the world are in some form engaged in pilot, exploration, advisory, all kinds of things around CBDC. So CBDC has a potential to change the way how we interact with all transactional payment systems. So I do think it's the future. I also think stablecoins, which are very widely available now, are really a stopgap until the CBDCs are available in the market.
Next on the bulletin, we have the Reserve Bank Governor of South Africa. He details the progress the African country is making in CBDC adoption and challenges he foresees.
Enough people to solve the technology problem. The big issues are about public choice, they are about regulation, and more importantly, about the governance arrangements that are going to be put.
Finally, we are moving to the US representative. She spells out the nascent stage of the country's CBDC project and the development so far.
So we've seen a couple projects come out of the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York last year announced Project Cedar, which was a wholesale CBDC experiment. They also are acting as an observer to the Regulated Liabilities Network pilot. We have Project Hamilton, which we all know and have tracked for several years now, out of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. And more recently, we've seen action to build out a central bank digital currency research team for the Federal Reserve System. At the same time, we're seeing a shift in leadership on Capitol Hill, a development of a digital currency subcommittee under the House Financial Services Committee and Chair McHenry's leadership. So I think this year is where we're going to start to see a focus on how we can both legislate and experiment around CBDCs.
Next on the list is global expectation on Metaverse, which is tipped by WEF to become $800 billion market by 2024. To give more update on this, we have been joined by my colleague Vishakha Thakur. Over to you, Vishakha.
Thanks, Ruchi. The World Economic Forum has said that the Metaverse can have a multi-trillion-dollar market impact with billions of users in the coming decade. Billions of dollars are being invested into developing the Metaverse, which is projected to become an $800 billion market by 2024. The World Economic Forum released 2 reports on the Metaverse. The reports set it up as an immersive, interoperable and synchronous digital world that will change how we interact, work and play. WEF has also launched a Metaverse platform to tackle crises and challenges. The platform is a working prototype where organizations can convene on the Metaverse and learn about, create solutions for some of the present pressing challenges. With the Global Collaboration Village, we are creating the first public purpose-oriented application of the Metaverse technology, building a true global village in the virtual space. Supported by a unique range of partners from the public and private sectors like Microsoft Mesh, the village will use the frontier capabilities of the Metaverse to find solutions for addressing the big issues of our time in a more open, inclusive, and sustained way, said Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum.
Amazing stuff! More development happening on the Metaverse front. We will keep you updated on the same. We have devoted this bulletin to CBDCs. It is ideal to know more about the same. Here is the timeline check on development taking place across the globe. Let's head to Vishakha once again.
Thanks, Ruchi. For central bank digital currencies, 2022 was a very busy year. As many as 114 countries representing 95% of global GDP are either developing or have launched pilot projects for CBDC. Central banks of Saudi Arabia and Tunisia have chosen to focus their energies on the development of a wholesale central bank digital currency designed to enable commercial banks and other financial institutions to settle transactions between one another. Others, such as Norway, Turkey and Russia, have opted for the more ambitious target of a retail CBDC designed to be used at entry level of the consumer economy. China has advanced its CBDC programs over the course of the year and is closer to implement eCNY across the length and breadth of the country. Indonesia has begun to study their feasibility. While India's central bank, the Reserve Bank of India, launched pilot project for both WCBDC on November 1st and RCBDC on December 1st. As of January 2022, Ecuador is the only country to formally abandon their CBDC program to fully embrace the decentralized potential of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. The European Central Bank began its CBDC project in October of 2021. The project is currently in the investigation phase, which will last until fall of 2023. Finance ministers for the European Union said the group will unveil the high-level design for the digital euro before July 2023. Prime Minister of United Kingdom Rishi Sunak has spoken very positively about the possibility of a CBDC for the UK, while Economic Secretary to the Treasury Andrew Griffith told Parliament that they plan to launch public consultations on a digital pound in the coming weeks. Japan has also reaffirmed its intention to continue exploring the creation of its own CBDC, the digital yen. Nigeria has taken a step forward after carrying out the most aggressive implementation of a CBDC to date. It has set a limit on cash withdrawals from ATMs in December. Only 0.5% of Nigeria's 217 million citizens are using central bank's e-Naira, while 35% of Nigerians between 18 and 60 reported owning or trading cryptos in 2022. Nigeria was one of the first countries to roll out a CBDC on October 25, 2021. The United States has a number of CBDC projects in the works. The Canadian government announced on November 3 that it has begun consultations with stakeholders on digital assets, including CBDCs.
Raghuram Rajan, the ex-governor of Reserve Bank of India, took a pot shot at the cryptocurrencies for being hyped too much and losing its potentials in its disguised crypto form. Rajan's remarks assume importance in the light of $1.4 trillion wiped off the crypto market last year and not a dent in the real economy right in financial markets, but there are concerns with regards to stablecoins holding US treasuries worth billions of dollars. These reserves held in US treasuries, if there was any kind of run or collapse on any of these stablecoins and there was a wave of redemptions and these stablecoin issuers had to sell a bunch of treasuries. In that case, the potential impact on the real economy in the bond markets and other financial markets, well, ideally, if you were regulating them properly, you would want them invested in really short-term treasuries, right? The obvious liquidity issues, bankruptcy, collapses, had a contagion within the industry and the collapse of FTX. Rajan believes that cryptos being a speculative asset disguise the scope of crypto and somehow all these fiat currencies are on the way out and the central banks can't be trusted. Governments are spending trillions and going to be worth nothing soon. The US government spent 5 to 6 trillion extra during the pandemic and the US dollar is still worth something while some cryptos have died. Rajan thinks the main issue really was of the wrong narrative and not about displacing fiat currencies. It is also about offering a much easier way of payment and for digital transactions, in a sense, a base for doing a lot more. Rajan believes these digital currencies with stable cryptos or any other digital currency are really on strong territory. CBDCs are certainly grabbing a lot of attention at World Economic Forum. Well, that's it for today's special episode on World Economic Forum. We will keep you updated on the latest development in the Web3 space. This is me, Ruchi Sharma, signing off. Thanks for watching.